I get it. You've been scrolling through a sea of launch monitors, watching videos of guys teeing off in a living room, and you're thinking, do I really need to drop that much cash on a gadget that promises to make my game better? You're probably picturing the nightmare of buying something that takes up a corner of the garage, looks cool on paper, but then sits there gathering dust because it doesn't fit your routine. That hesitation is exactly why I wanted to sit down and walk through the Garmin Approach R50 Premium Bundle before you decide whether it's worth the investment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this isn't just a launch monitor. Garmin has paired the R50 with a full-featured simulator, a Steel 7-in-1 multifunction golf tool, and a Deco Essentials 26-month extended service plan. The idea is to give you a one-stop shop for data, practice, and even a little bit of club maintenance. But does it deliver in everyday life, or is it another piece of tech that sounds great in a spec sheet? Let's break it down the way you'd experience it on the course, or more likely, on the carpet of your own home. When you first unbox the bundle, the biggest surprise is the sheer amount of plug-and-play simplicity. The monitor itself is a compact unit that mounts on a tripod or can be set on a sturdy shelf. You power it up, pair it with the Garmin Golf app on your phone, and you're ready to swing. The first thing you notice is the real-time ball data speed, launch angle, spin displayed on your screen as you hit. That immediacy is where the R50 starts to feel premium. Instead of waiting for a coach to break down your swing, you get instant numbers that you can compare against your target values. If you're the kind of golfer who loves to tweak variables, maybe you're trying to add a few yards to your driver or shave off spin on your irons, having that data at your fingertips is a game changer. Beyond raw numbers, the simulator component lets you pick a virtual course and play around without leaving the house. I tried a few holes on Pebble Beach and then switched to a practice range setting where I could focus on shot shapes. The visual feedback is surprisingly immersive for a device that doesn't need a dedicated room with projectors. It's not a high-end indoor simulation that costs thousands, but for a home golfer who wants to practice a specific shot under simulated conditions, it hits a sweet spot. The ability to watch an impact video right after each swing helps you see if your face was square, which is a level of detail you usually only get at a professional fitting center. Now, let's talk about the Steel 7-in-1 multifunction tool that comes in the bundle. It's a compact, heavy-duty piece that combines a tee holder, groove cutter, ball marker, and a few other handy functions. At first glance it feels like a novelty, but once you start using it on the range or during a round, you'll appreciate having all those tools in one pocket. If you've ever been caught without a proper groove cutter after a bad hit, this tool can save you a few strokes by letting you clean up the club face quickly. It's a small addition, but it rounds out the package for golfers who want to be prepared for anything on the course. The 26-month extended protection plan is another layer that Garmin throws in, and it's something you rarely see in this price range. The plan covers accidental damage and includes priority support, which can be a relief if you're worried about a hardware glitch after you've already spent a good chunk of money. For peace of mind, especially if you're setting this up in a garage where a stray tool could bump it, that coverage adds real value. So, who should actually consider buying this bundle? If you're a mid-handicap to low-handicap golfer who spends a decent amount of time practicing, say, 3 or 4 sessions a week, this device can accelerate your improvement. The data feedback helps you dial in swing changes more efficiently than just guessing, and the simulator lets you practice under a variety of conditions without waiting for the weather to cooperate. It also works well for anyone who enjoys the tech side of the game and wants to track progress over months, perhaps preparing for a tournament or a competitive league. On the flip side, if you're a casual player who only hits the occasional naniron on a weekend round, you might not extract enough value to justify the cost. The R50 does require at least a modest amount of indoor space, about 10 feet of clearance in front of the monitor, to capture accurate data. If you're living in a small apartment or a closet, you'll quickly run into constraints. Also, the system leans heavily on the Garmin Golf app, so you'll need a compatible smartphone and a stable Bluetooth connection. People who dislike tethering everything to